Hello, lovely people. I welcome you once again to Joe Roots Academy. And this lesson, we are going to create our macro to cater for the shoot button. Please, I entreat every one of you to subscribe to this channel, try and share our videos, and try to like us, give us our comments. Then we'll get back to you. Okay, so in this lesson, let's create the macro for the shoot button. So sub shoot, then hit and enter. So inside the sub shoot, you are going to use the sheet, that will the initial sheet that will be used, like the game sheet and the setting sheet. So let's copy from here, then go and paste that one there. For the variables, we have already declared the variable for the whole sheet. That's why we gave the variables at the top here. So this variable will cater for everything, every subs or module we are dealing with. So let's continue. So after this, we need to tell the system something, that if the range, which is the value, the settings sheet, the value or the range, which is C2, this range, this C2 is equal to stop, then it means that the system is not running. So it should give us an information, or it should tell us something. And that thing should tell us that we should click on what? The play first. That means when your system is running, or when you open your system, you don't click on the play, you can't click on the shoot to give you a message, a warning. So let's code that one too. So let's go back to the coding screen and then tell the system that if this condition is if the worksheet dot range, and the range is C2, dot value is equal to stop, then it should give us a message. The message box is please click on play first, then you close it, then you exit the sub. Okay, then after that, after every if condition, you need to end it. So let's try to end this one, this if condition. Okay, so the next thing you're going to do is we need to set some values. So we are going to tell the system that when you shoot, or you click on shoot, this value D2, that's the value for the apple, sorry, D3 rather, the value for arrow is equal to 0. Then that means the arrows have been exhausted. It should tell you something. It tells them that you should click the restart button. So let's add that code also there, so that when you shoot and your arrow finish, you need to get an information to reset your game. So if wsh dot range and the range is D3 dot value is equal to 0. Then it should give you a message. So message box, you don't have any arrow. Then you close it. So you can still tell the system to tell you, or you can set the system to instruct you to click on the reset button. So you can say, please you don't have an arrow, so click on reset. Okay, so this one will be the message that you will see. Then you exit. Then you exit the side and end the if. And the if. Okay. So the next thing we are going to do now is we are going to now code the movement of the apple in connection with the arrow. So let's go and copy the variables that we set for them. So this one, we're going to copy everything here. So you copy, then you come and paste. Okay. Then from there, you need to change the status of the apple and the arrow. So you enter this code wsh.range. Then the range is C2. Dot value is equal to move. So the moment you click on the shoot button, the status of that range will now move from stop to move, and the range for the apple to the arrow will move an apple to. So you need to copy this one and just paste it here, then change the C2 to C3. Okay, then we are good to go. Now the next thing we are going to do is we are now going to set the location which is considered where will be considered as the hit. So if you look at this, you are going to move the arrow to this position, the arrow image, the image of the arrow or the shape to this position. So when the arrow gets to this position and the apple also is in this position, either from this position to this position, any of this position we can consider it as a hit. So we are going to get the values or the locations of these positions. So first of all, let's place the mouse there. the apple at this side, and then go and use the message box to get the apple top location of this. So the values we are going to set for it. So let's go to the code, and we are not going to type it here. Let's type it here, just below these two lines of code. So let's type msg box apple dot top. Okay, so let's run it. So the position of this apple now is 293. Okay, so let's go back, but we are going to write it somewhere. So we can write it somewhere, or let's use comment. Let's comment it below here. So what the value was 293. So you can see that it is 8 apple. Okay, 8 apple top 1, or to let's say top A. Okay, so this is the value. A comment, it will not affect the code. So let's go to the code again, and then push it to this side. Okay, so this, when it is at this position 2, it should give us a hit. So let's go to the code again, and then run it again. Okay, sorry, let's place the mouse at the end of the code, then run it. Okay, so this one will give you 309. So let's place that one to here, 309. Okay, so you can also comment it, copy, and paste this one. And let's name it. Let's give this one B. Don't worry, we are going to delete this comment, but we want to do it before we start with continue with the coding. Okay, so let's go back again. Then let's check the position of the arrow too. So we need to check the position of the arrow when it hits the apple. So let's go here and type arrow dot left. Then let's run it. Okay, so the value is 524. So let's use 524. Okay, so you can tell the system that this thing 8 arrow the 8 arrow A. Okay, then we go back to the code, the game again, and when it's the arrow also, if the arrow is in this direction, this one, the arrow is in this direction, let's move it a bit here. Okay, this direction too, it can be considered as a hit. So let's set that one too. So let's go to the code again, and okay, and then run it again. Okay, so that one is 536. Okay, let me use N 536. Okay, now the last thing is the apple with the. Okay, let me reset this one. Yeah, we are okay with this, so let me reset it. Okay, so let's go with the apple with the arrow. So with the apple with the arrow, we are going to tell the system when you hit the apple, or when you hit the arrow with the apple, this apple should show at this position. Okay, so let me see something. Let me use play, see something. Okay, I want to show something. Okay, so let me place this man, this here. Let's see. There. Okay, so let's use this location. So if the apple hits, or the arrow hit the apple, this image should show. It should show here and drop. So we are going to check the location of this. So let's go to the code again, and then the name of that, where we use sp. So sp dot top. So let's start with the top, then we run it. Okay, so that one is 504. Sorry, 304. So let's type it here, 304 as the first one. Okay, so top 304. Okay, so for me, I don't want to write somewhere. That's why I'm typing it here. But for you can write it somewhere. So let's check for the left one, two, left, and then run it. Okay, so that one is 584. Okay. 584. Okay. So now I have this code here. Okay, so now let's go on with our code. So we don't need this one anymore. So let's just delete it. Now, the code that we're going to do now is we're going to create a loop. So let's type X here. As then type VBA do event, VBA dot do event. Okay, so we are going to first of all create a code or a macro for the apple move. That is the apple moving. When you hit when you click on shoot, and while the apple is moving, what should happen? So let's comment it. Let's get a comment so that you can remember what you are doing. So let's say apple move. Don't forget that this line code is not part of the code. It's just a comment, so that when anytime you get your code again, you can remember how you code it. So apple moves when apple is moving. So let's create a condition. So if the Excel sheet, which is the settings Excel sheet dot range, and which range are we talking about? We are talking about the C2. The C2, I think, is the status of the apple or the arrow. Yes, I think the first one is apple. Let me check. I want to be sure. Okay, it's apple. So C2 is apple, the status of the apple. So if the status of the apple is equal to dot value, is equal to stop, then the system should exit, or the sub, as the shoot sub should exit. Then just exit the sub. That means it should tell you that the shoot button is not clicked. So when it is stop, the shoot button is not clicked. That is when you click pause or reset, the shoot button should not click. But when it is moving, that means that's where you should it should hit, or it should move. The apple should move. Okay, so after this code, so we are going to tell the system that apple dot top now should be equal to apple dot top plus WSH dot range. Then create the range. The range is B to, I will explain this code, so don't worry. Dot value. So let me explain this. It says the apple dot top. When you hit the apple, or when you shoot it, this range, or this the movement of the apple should be equal to the combo box that you selected. If you select fast, slow, or low, it should move in that direction. If you select high, it should move in that direction. That is the meaning of this code. Now let's create another condition. So if apple is moving and the position of the apple, which is the top position, is greater than, so that's where we are going to use the value that we use. So it's greater than, so the first one is greater than 293. Then sorry, it shouldn't be that. Okay, so this line of code, I think we can copy from here. It's telling us that when the code or the apple moves and it gets to the bottom, it should go back. Okay, I think this is the line of this code. This is the code that you need to copy. So let's copy this one. Let's copy it from here. So this code is telling that when the apple gets to the 440 position from the top, it should start from the initial position. So let's just paste it here. Okay, so we are still in it. Now that is the movement of the apple when the shoot button is clicked. Okay, now let's deal with the movement of the arrow. So arrow move. So let's set the condition that if the sheet range, that the certain sheet range, and the range is C3, dot value is equal to stop. then you need to exit the sub. Okay, so it is also telling us that the next thing is arrow dot left should be equal to arrow dot left plus the range, that's the status, the speed range should be plus the speed range, which is also speed 3. Dot value. Now let's continue. Now the next thing you're going to do is you're going to check the location, or when the arrow meets the apple. That's where we are going to use the values we commented. So let's type this: if arrow dot left is greater than, so let's check the value. So there's the arrow. So arrow dot left. So the first one is 524. It's 524, and the same arrow dot left is less than. So the second one is 536. That means the range between 524 and 536. That is the position where the arrow should hit the apple. So a condition is saying that if the range is met, then something should happen. So you need to create another if condition inside that condition. That is for the apple too. So if apple dot top is also greater than, so the first one is 293. That is the code that the value that we got, and apple dot top is less than, so the second one is 309. Then that one too, then something also should happen there. So what should happen? Then we are going to call another model, or sorry, another macro, which we'll be creating later on. So let's just type it, and later on when we code that one, I will also put more light on it. So drop underscore apple. Okay, then a message box will appear, and the message box will tell you that hit, or let's use you have hit the target. So with this message, it is optional. You can just use your own message. Then you also call the play, the sub, which is what the play. So let's check the name that we gave to the play sub. Okay, so that was play. So just call that one to call the play. Okay, then you end the if function. Okay, I think the if function, we created two if functions, so let's end that one too. Okay, so with this we have set the location where the apple and the arrow should meet and when it should be considered as a hit. Okay, now in case the arrow did not meet the apple at that position and it makes, we need to create a code for that one too. What should happen if it makes? So type if arrow dot left is greater than. With this we are using 1000, so 1000 with 1000, that means when the arrow moves away from the system or from the very far away from the tree, then a message should show or a message should pop up. So which message should pop up? Then, or what should happen? That means you have hit, you have missed the target. So WSH dot range the range is C3 dot value is equal to stop. That means when you miss the arrow, or sorry, you miss the apple, and it's the apple or the arrow reach that position, which is 100 position from the left, the system should stop. And if the system stops, that means the value for the apple movement should stop. Then so the value for the system, the arrow should stop, the status should be stopped. Then when it stops, these values here should now change. The value here, because you have shoot an arrow, that means this value should now decrease. So let's create that code for that one to decrease that one to so dot range. Then the range is D3. So D3 is what is holding the value of 10. So dot value is equal to WSH dot range. The range is D3 dot value minus 1. That means it should decrease by 1. Good. Okay, sorry, we know this one here. Okay, so now when it decreases by 1, then the arrow will now move to its initial position. So the arrow will now move to so let's go and copy from the reset code. So the arrow is here, yes. So copy this one, then come and paste it here. That's the initial position. So the arrow will go back to its initial position. Okay, then it will give you a message box, or it will give you a message that you missed the target. So missed target. Okay, then end the if. Good. Then because you have ended the loop or the VBA event, you just end it with go to X. Okay, so we are through with it. Now we will end here, and we continue in our next lesson, which we are going to create the macro for the drop and then for the exit button to end our training. God bless you all for watching. Have a nice day. Bye bye.